This is the new rising phenomenon, and serious one which has to be closely looked and properly addressed. Inequalities and discrimination affecting women are most of the time leading to exclusion and poverty.
There's gender inequality in the workplace. It's just a topic that seems it's ever present, isn't it?
We have been paid less per hour than men for a very long time.
Gender stereotyping and its effects vary across cultures and age groups. It is often talked about, yet it is still something that is present in society. The idea of what is normal for a person of a particular gender is something we've all encountered at some point. How are we expected to behave? How are we expected to think? The liberation of gender roles has come a long way over the last several decades, but what does it look like today? Are people questioning the norm?
Oh, have I ever considered my gender identity? Yeah, I have. First, when I started thinking about gender as an identity rather than something you are inherently born with, I had to start thinking, like, what does that mean for me? Like, if other people identify a different way than how they're born, is that the same for me? Like, something I almost want to double check on, just like, what is my identity then, if I think about it as an identity?
I've also thought about what it means to be a woman, but aside from that, no.
Have I considered my gender identity? I would say no, not to the point where I've questioned it anyway. I've always just been knowing my identity is straight man, yeah.
How far do the effects of gender stereotyping go? The simplest things could be influenced by the idea of a gender binary, even something as simple as a person's favorite color.
My favorite color would be purple.
My favorite color is blue. It's cliche, but it is, so I'm happy with it.
My favorite color is purple, actually. I don't know why. No specific reason why my favorite color is purple. Just is, as long as I've known it.
Do I think that could be affected by gender stereotypes? I do. Usually blue is considered male, while pink is considered female.
I think it would be affected by gender stereotypes.
Yeah, I definitely think it could be. When I was growing up, my childhood room was painted pink and purple. Those are my favorite colors, but also, like, I always thought of them as girl colors, like, whatever that means, but that's what that's what everyone told me at the time. And I was like, great, pink and purple are girly colors. Then I grew up and I'm like, what is a girl color? That makes no sense, but I still really loved the colors. So yeah, maybe that felt like an appropriate choice when I was little, and then it just kind of stuck.
Gender stereotypes present themselves in many ways and affect each person differently. What comes to people's minds when they think of gender stereotypes?
Some examples of gender stereotypes, like big beefy men and petite women, and like the basic examples of them.
I would say men are usually thought of as more aggressive and less open about their feelings, while women are less aggressive, yet I would say they are also more open with sharing their problems, and if they're upset or excited, they're more willing to share that with others, where men don't.
Everyone faces challenges, but how many of them are specific to men and to women? It may not be apparent where barriers or difficulties exist for genders other than our own, but that doesn't mean they aren't there. So what are some challenges that both men and women face?
Challenges that women face? Oh, a lot of challenges. I didn't realize it when I was younger. I'm in a position of authority now, and when I was younger, and you would talk about, say, feminism or something, I would think, what's all this feminism stuff, right? And then when I became a boss, and I had lots of, I should preface that by saying I had a lot of friends who were guys. And a lot of my coworkers and I would go out and stuff, and it was a lot of guys. And so I just thought feminism, this and that. And then we'd start going out and we'd be fine. And then I became a boss, and those people became my subordinates, and the dynamic changed. And that's when I realized, oh, I get it now. I get it, because I was treated completely differently. So then I was forced to start thinking about the kinds of questions you're asking me now.
Two challenges men face would be maybe that would be showing emotion. That's not just, as I was saying, that tough guy attitude.
2 challenges women face. I think they're pretty simple. I think the first one is being listened to. I don't think that we are heard, and I think a lot of the work that other people have taken on is saying like, oh, like empower women to use their voices. We know how to use our voices. Other people just aren't listening. So I think that's a big challenge. And being able to take up space. It's the same thing. We don't need to be empowered to take up space and do all these things like become CEOs and be in leadership positions. Like we've always known how to do that. That is not the problem. The problem is that we've been kept out of those spaces.
In some way, gender stereotypes have affected everyone. They influence our decisions in life and have the power to direct our lives. Do people know when they pass on an opportunity due to a gender stereotype? If they could go back in time, would they choose differently?
So I'm trans, which is probably obvious from just looking at me. But before I kind of transitioned or started exploring transitioning, I did want to start exploring that stuff. And I often felt held back from exploring my identity because of gender stereotypes. Like, oh, I wanted to wear a skirt, or I wanted to, try out makeup or try out this and that. And I felt held back by gender stereotypes because it would immediately sort of be something that set me aside as being other. And that was very scary. So exploring my gender identity, which is something that I really wanted to do, I felt held back.
Well, when I was younger, because when I was younger, it was in the 70s, I wanted to play hockey, but girls just played ringette. So I always wanted to be a hockey player, be in the NHL and do that sort of a thing. And of course, you lay in bed and dream about it, and you play street hockey with the boys and everything, but that just wasn't on the table. And then a young woman who I went to school with, she became a hockey player. She played hockey, and the crap kind of hit the fan. So she had a big challenge, and I believe her name was Heather Cramble back in the day, and she fought the good fight for the girls back in the day, and but it wasn't just like sign up for hockey now and that sort of a thing. She was the only girl on the team, and it raised quite a ruckus, so I give her props. She was a little trailblazer back in the day in Winnipeg. So
I've always wanted to kind of learn how to cook and bake. Problem is, at home, usually, my dad or something would tell me to go work outside with him instead of being around with my sisters or my mom to kind of learn how to cook food and to bake something. So now when I'm kind of all alone, I don't know what to make, so I just do microwave dinners a lot, which would probably have been a smart thing to learn when I was younger, which is kind of a shame because I do think men should know how to cook.